Okay. Welcome everybody to our Thursday live with Daniel Smith and John Copley, who cannot join us tonight, but he's probably watching us. We don't know, but we wish him all the best in his trip. And tonight we have two very fabulous guests and friends. They are both from the origin of our civilization. Well, our civilization, I mean, at least Europe. They are both from Greece. And they are, as you know, George Politis and Johnny Patramanis. Welcome, both of you, and they both live in Thessaloniki. So welcome to this live session. And I have to say something which I have almost forgotten, but Zito I have forgotten. Yelada. So it means I'm with Greece because both of them are Greek. So I think that George will start presenting his colors. As you know, on Thursdays, we have the brand ambassadors who present the colors they use and why they have used them. So, George, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yorgos?
Okay.
Can you spotlight him as well, please?
Yes.
Well,
George is already on spotlight. We're gonna spotlight the other camera now.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Well, anyway, George, it's such a pleasure to meet you again now online. But you've been a brand ambassador for a long time, and I had the pleasure of using some of your colors. Could you please share with us what colors are in your dot card and why you chose them? We would really love to know that.
First of all, thank you for this invitation and for asking me with Johnny to present our dot cards. So the colors that I have been using, well, there are many more, but the selection for this dot card has been based on my textural paintings mostly. So I wanted to paint rust and wood grain and all things. So I focused mainly on Primatech colors and in several cases granulating colors. This is why I have been using these in my dot cards. Of course, in general, I'm using many more based on what I'm painting. And this is why I have also two sets, Daniel Smith sets. One is focusing on the textural paintings. The other is on landscapes, on Greece, on the sea, the sky. So I need more blues and things like that in the other sets. Anyway, so I'm using new gumboards, which I find to be a very nice warm yellow that gives me several mixing opportunities. But then my color that I cannot do without is quinacridone gold. In most of my paintings, you will see that I probably start with quinacridone gold, especially if I'm painting textures. Moonglow is one of the most versatile colors, the one that I use in my shadows. But what I love about this color is that when used wet in wet, it diffuses into three different colors. So it keeps my shadows more vivid, more interesting. And in order to give some light in my shadows, because my shadows, well, I want my shadows in my paintings to be transparent as possible, and build up till I manage to have some dark contrast, but still I want to retain, to keep the transparency. So inside my shadows, you will find many colors. It's not a dark color. One of the colors that I love to introduce into the shadows is the Imperial Purple. I feel that it gives some light to the shadow, a purple light, but still a light. Then Hematite Genuine is one of the best colors, several in this family, that are useful for granulation. So I find hematite to be one of my best choices, along with bloodstone, which is next to it, for granulation, for rocks, for old walls. And when it comes to bloodstone, it is also very useful to create some dark colors, as I will show later. Tiger's eye
George, excuse
Yes.
me to interrupt you, but I remember very well when you showed us how to use the quinacridone gold as a base for all the textures and all the metals and all the rust and most of the painting. So I discovered quinacridone gold then. So it's your fault that I love quinacridone gold. So yes, please go ahead.
And as I said, as I will show later, it is quinacridone gold is one of the colors that I'm not sure if you will find even one of my paintings in the last, I don't know, 5-6 years where I have not used it. Maybe when I'm doing a demo for some other colors, when I have to be restricted to using, let's say, only blues, then I will not use quinacridone gold. But normally I start, even when I paint black. When I paint black, I start with yellows, and my preferred ochre, not exactly yellow, is quinacridone gold. Tiger's eye genuine and burnt tiger's eye genuine, which is not in this dot card, are also fantastic for textures. Burnt sienna, when I give my workshops, I speak about symbols of colors, and burnt sienna for me is the symbol of warmth. So I like to use burnt sienna in the shadows, in textures, in everything. And the meaning when I use it is to give some warmth to the shadows most often. And then Piemontite genuine along with Mayan dark blue, such a beautiful combination that gives me some of my darkest darks. But Piemontite genuine is also a beautiful color by itself because it is granulating. It is like a brownish, reddish color. I find it very, very interesting. You will not see too often in my paintings red color or pure red color. But when I need red color, one of the reds that I like is quinacridone red. Of course, I also like other reds, like Mayan red, Mayan orange, which is also reddish, but quinacridone is such a beautiful and pure red. Venetian red is closer to the colors that I need for my textures. So I like it, especially for the rust. Serpentine genuine is one of the greens that I like in the Primatex series once again. But then I have other greens that I like Perilene green, Cascade green, especially Cascade, which is one of the beautiful diffusing colors. I am using all of them so much and even more. I mean, when it comes to greens, Daniel Smith are so rich. And then Indian Throne blue is one of the strongest blues that one can find. I use it very much in Santorini in my paintings when I paint domes. And when I go to the darkest area of the domes, then I use Indian Throne blue and Mayan dark blue. Sometimes lunar blue. Lunar blue is more granulating as a color. So I will use it like when I paint things like rocks, or when I need some granulation, then I might use more lunar black or lunar blue or even lunar violet. Perylene green is once again like Mayan dark blue, a color that is mixing fantastically with Piemontite genuine, and I can suggest that you try these mixes because it gives once again a very, very vivid, interesting dark color, but not a dead black. And neutral tint, I like it because it does what it says. It neutralizes several colors. I use it more sparingly sometimes as a base, add some other colors. Is it coming back? No, okay.
No, sorry, my fault.
Okay, so neutral tint, I'm using it more like a base when I add wet in wet some other colors into it. So that's it.
But George, please, there are so many Primatech colors, which are the mineral ones, the ones that come from minerals. And can you share with us why you chose so many Primatechs? I think maybe we've mentioned about your rust, but what quality, especially in the Primatechs, attracts you so much?
Yeah, I think that my first goal would be choosing colors that would give me the option to use granulation. So I would start from there. And then when I'm painting several things wet in wet, then the metallic, or heavy, the heavier elements will stop closer and other colors will go further, which helps me when I mix on the paper, because I usually or most often or almost always mix my colors on the paper. So it gives me more opportunities to help the colors play by themselves, and the heavier elements stay closer, the other go further, so the colors diffuse and interact on the paper like that. And I find this display very, very interesting because it gives me results by itself. So I have then to see what is going on, evaluate how things have gone, and then I'm trying to tame the small chaos that is created. Does this
George, for a second, could you just bring the two dot cards nearer to the camera, because it's a bit far? So maybe, yes, that's it. That's lovely. Yeah, so we can see a little bit more. That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Angela, just for everybody's information, especially those in Zoom, and maybe Anna Marie could also help post links in our Facebook. We've added links and even the file of George's dot card in the chat for convenience.
Okay.
Yes, thank you so much.
Is it possible to share my screen so that I can show some things?
Yes, it's
more
the
easily?
iPad.
Yeah.
Are you referring to the iPad now, George?
Yeah.
Yeah, you may tap the share screen.
Okay,
so that
I have already started. Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, so here it will be easier to show what I'm talking about, because as Angela said, things are a little bit further when I'm using the camera, but here you can see several combinations like quinacridone, gold, and moon glow. In most of my walls, you will see this combination. As I said, I start with quinacridone gold, and then I love to introduce some other colors on top of that, wet in wet. What I love is this thing happening here. The quinacridone gold, it's like creeping into the moon glow, sorry, is creeping into the quinacridone gold area. And even more, in several cases, it diffuses, so I get several colors like that. Quinacridone Gold plus Piemontite Genuine. This is why I love Piemontite, because it gives these granulating effects. So you see, you have something like an inner light when using that wet in wet. And then when you add Piemontite, the metallic parts, as you see, stay closer to the area that you add them. And then the brownish color goes further, but without too much granulation. So then you can play on top of that, adding color or using some more water to create the effects that you want.
George, we have a question here by Svetlana. She's asking, if the Queen Gold is painted first and then the Moonglow? No, that I think you have said it, but somebody asked if it's still wet when you add the Moonglow.
All right.
If the Queen Gold is still wet.
Can we change to the other camera for the moment? Oh no, it's not. I will show right after how I do it. Okay.
Yes, and one just a question. I don't know if you're able to turn the iPad sideways and the image is still.
I think it doesn't change much, but is it better like that?
Yeah. Yes,
right.
yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Now we can see the full screen. Thank you so much.
So Quinacridone Gold plus Blackstone is another beautiful combination. In reality, I'm using all of that in one. I mean, Quinacridone Gold, and while it is still wet, I'm introducing some bloodstone in one area, some Piemontite in another area, some Moonglow in another area, and I let them mix on the paper. So you see why I love it. Bloodstone is my heavy artillery in granulation. It gives the best effects. Well, if you take lunar black away, lunar black is even better for granulation, but it is black. So I'm trying to use it more sparingly, let's say. Sienna as a base instead of Quinacridone Gold. Here you see burnt sienna plus Moonglow. So you see that it gives effects that are not so contrasted, and it is like not shouting here. It is like whispering. I have a tamer result, a cooler result. And then, as you see in several cases, as I said, I start with Quinacridone Gold, and then I have some burnt sienna and Venetian red and tiger's eye, all of that in one small area like this. And of course, you cannot see all that so clearly in the picture here, but in reality, they still have a very transparent effect, and everything works very, very well. New Gambots plus Imperial Purple, New Gambots here, Imperial Purple here, and then some Moonglow on top. So this is another combination that I like to use when I paint skies, when I paint something like is closer to the sunset. So you have the complementary colors in this case. And that should be one of my walls. Of course, I see that the result is not so good in the picture, but I would start here with a base of neutral tint. And then on top, I would add Piemontite and Moonglow. And at the bottom, I would add some more Quinacridone Gold. Quinacridone Gold, another symbol color for me, because when I use it on a wall, let's say, you will find it at the bottom of the wall, because it symbolizes probably the reflections from the ground, and it makes sense to the viewer like that. And several other combinations, because perhaps it's a good idea to show how I do some things, as you asked, like neutral tint plus tiger's eye, neutral tint plus imperial purple, quinacridone gold, Piemontite, and Moonglow. That should be one of my wall choices as well. Burnt sienna as a base plus hematite. This beautiful combination that is more difficult for me to use in most of my paintings, but I have used it in some of my portraits and some of my paintings lately that have to do with the Holocaust, and I have several series about the immigrants, and then I used this combination a lot. Quinacridone gold plus quinacridone red and imperial purple. You see how many beautiful combinations arise on the paper because everything is done on the paper.
George,
So
this
you
is
mix
Anna
this.
Marie.
Yes.
Yeah.
May I ask a question?
What?
The beautiful blossoms that you're getting
Mhm.
is not just about the color, it's also about how much liquid you mix in with the paints, how thick or thin it is. Can you
Definitely.
speak to that?
Yes. So first I add my color, my first color, let's say quinacridone or new gumboats here. New gumboats, it is lighter, it is wet, and while it is wet, then I add color on top. I have my paper inclined so that I use gravity and the color flows downwards. When I feel that it doesn't flow as I want, it is thicker, then I might use my brush with a little bit of water to facilitate, to help it move more easily downwards. So things like that, small things like that, and you achieve these results. But if this should answer one, I give one more answer to the question. The paper was like that. So the red was like that, and the yellow was here. Okay?
Yes. George, there are only, it's 25 past already.
Yeah, I know.
Would you like to show us how you make some of the mixes, maybe?
Let's turn to the other camera.
It's so interesting. We would spend a whole hour or 2 hours.
You can shut down the iPad. Shut down. George, please continue.
No, I want to see you. So anyway, if I were, I wanted to show several things. Like here, you see that I have. Not sure if you can see it, but it is like collaged paper, and I use this collaged paper for my rocks and things like that. But let's move to the. Let's start with water. And what color should I paint here? Let's paint some new gumboats. You see that the board is inclined.
Yeah.
Adding some more at the top. So gravity helps everything to flow downwards. Let's add some more water so that the area is wet enough. And then let's introduce some Piemontite genuine, perhaps.
Could you bring it nearer to the camera? Yes, yeah. So just thanks to gravity, it just flows down and mixes with the layer underneath.
Exactly. So I will add some more on the top. Because of the wet surface, it flows downwards. When I feel that it needs some more water to facilitate that, So I need now a thirsty brush to remove the excess water here. But anyway, it's not the point of this presentation. But you see, I'm working like that. If I were to add some other colors like Moonglow, again on top,
That is excellent, George.
thank you for the
We have a comment here by Sandra. She says, I love his chart and his explanation of how and why he uses certain mixes.
Thank you. Anytime, whatever you want. If I can answer something, send me a message. I will be happy to do it. So you see,
we need to see it nearer, George. We need to see it much nearer. Yes. Yes.
The colors diffuse, the colors mix on the paper, and then I could do other things like give some touches here and there. As I said, some burnt sienna. It doesn't matter. That's how I paint the walls. It's touches here and there. But as you spoke about the blossom or the mixing, that's how I do it. When I paint on top of, I have a workshop coming, a Zoom workshop in a few days. So that's what I will be doing there, like creating effects like that. But of course, here I'm using papers, glued oriental papers. And this is why I love Daniel Smith colors. And I will end with this because on top of glued colors, which means on top of glue, like acrylic medium, it works so well and it gives such beautiful effects that I use in my rocks, in my trees. I'm not sure if you can see it, but already the fibers, these are real fibers, oriental papers. These are fake.
A little bit nearer, a little bit closer, please, for a moment. Yes. Yes.
George, hi.
These are fake fibers. These are pure kitchen paper, but
glued to the paper. Yes.
Glued in a way that it looks like real oriental fibers, and so on. So I don't want to take time from Johnny.
We have a question, George. We have a question. Somebody was asking you.
Yeah?
It's me, Angela. Thank you so much. George, hi.
It's Besnik. Besnik. Okay, welcome.
Hi, Besnik. Yeah.
Hi, George. I wanted to ask you, did you use watercolor ground or just directly into that coating?
No. In many cases, I do use watercolor ground. Let me show you. I hope I have it here and I don't have it. So I prepared this for today. I didn't know how much time I would have. So that is using purely my dot card colors, but this is done with collage. I'm not sure if you can see it. Collage and watercolor on top directly. But in some cases, I start with watercolor ground. And here you can see buff titanium watercolor ground. And in other cases, it's around here. If I have 1 minute after Johnny, I show you that I collage first and I do some buff titanium on top of them. On top of that, I have an old look in the painting. So anything is possible.
You can
George,
show
I have a
now,
suggestion.
George.
Yes.
Sorry, I was going to suggest, why don't you do something on what you had prepared, and then at the end, before we finish, after Johnny, we can maybe have a few minutes to watch what you've done, to see what you've done.
Now you see, okay, perhaps I can do that. All right. But it will take so much time, I'm not sure. But yeah, I will try that.
Whatever.
Yeah, sure. So let's go.
Thank you so much, George.
Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Thank you so much.
Everybody.
So now,
could I just make one quick comment before he moves off? Just to remind people that last time George did a presentation for this, I love so much that he shared his workshop materials. and he sent me, and he said he'll send anyone in the live the worked out examples. So then I've been able to do that at home, and it's been like having a workshop with George. Thank you so much, and other people could do that.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, that's lovely. Thank you. George is so generous. And Johnny, hello, Johnny.
Hello.
Very, very welcome here. Nice to see you again. Long time no see. And we would love to see your colors. Johnny lived in Italy for a while, but now he's back in Thessaloniki. So please share with us what colors you have and why
Alright.
you use these ones in particular.
Hi
you.
everyone. Hi George. Hi Angela. So my dot card, I have them here, but I prepared bigger swatches so it's easier for you guys to see them. So I wanted to create a palette that anyone can use it. So I'm not use all of the colors all of the time, but I want some colors that everyone can use, like alizarin crimson. I wanted red, true red, like the old masters. So that was my choice. Then I went to Blackstone. It's a color that I use a lot, not very recently, but I love it. I love it for shadows because I mostly paint figurative painting and portraits. So I use this color for the shadows. And bronzite genuine. I like this color very much, and I use it for the eyes, like brown eyes. It has the mica in it, so it gives a sparkle to the subject. Buff titanium. I use this mostly as a base for my skin tone, but mostly for portraits. When I do figures, I don't use it that much, and I will show you some examples. Like next, we have burnt sienna light. I use this color every time. I couldn't do anything without it. I love it so much. Next, burnt umber. Again, it's a great mixing colors. I use it for hair. I use it for my darks. Sometimes in combination with Indanthrone blue, for example, here. Next one is the Cascade green. It's the only green that I have, but we can count to the Sleeping Beauty down here. I don't use greens, but I hate to have this color in my dot card because it's a marvelous color. It's wonderful. It granulates, it separates, it does everything. So anyone that is not very that doesn't know the Daniel Smith brand, he can take my dot card and try this color. Next one is the Indanthrone blue. I use it for my darks or some, let's say maybe some clothes. Lavender, again, for skin tone or hair or light shadows in the face. Lunar black. I use this for again for hair, for clothes, maybe some darks on the eyes or shadows. Cerulean blue again is a color that I don't use very much. I only use it on colors or when I do some landscapes. I use it for the sky or the sea. And the next one is lunar violet. I use it again for my shadows. It's like most of the times I use the bloodstone or the lunar violet because they are kind of a similar colors to my eye. And then we have the Piemontite. I use this on every single one of my paintings. I have it like a signature. I use it right after the burnt sienna light. to create amazing textures. Then I have Pyro Scarlet. This one again, I use it to make like my model like blush a little bit, like on the cheek or on the nose, on the ears. Quinacridone Gold is my only, let's say, yellow color, because I don't really use yellows, but I needed one for my palette for other mixes. Like example, if I mix the Quinacridone Gold with Thingatron Blue or Cerulean or Ultramarine, I can create a range of greens, which I only have the Cascade. So with Queen Gold and all of my blues, I can create other greens as well. Next one is Shadow Violet, one of my most used colors again. I use this for shadows. I love the separation again. It's 3 pigments and it's so beautiful. I love it. Sleeping Beauty. I use this one again for colors, maybe on the eyes, maybe on all the hair for highlights, or the sea again if I do some landscapes. And I wanted a true blue, and for me it's ultramarine blue. So for example, I am usually not a plein-air artist or a landscape artist, but I made this, and this tree here is only made with bloodstone, lunar violet, and piemontite. So I didn't need the burnt umber or burnt sienna or any other brown pigment. And again, for my Sleeping Beauty and the lavender, Shadow Violet for the sky here, and cerulean.
This is
John, could you
fabulous,
hold that
Johnny.
up close to the camera?
Yeah, if I can.
Yes, thank you.
And the greens, how did you do the greens?
The greens again, I can do them from Quinacridone Gold and the combination of the blues, but in here I think I used some undersea green, some perylene green, serpentine. Like, yeah,
Gorgeous, yes.
thank you.
Do you have any of your portraits here to show
Sure.
us? Yes, that's what we wanted.
For example, I started with buff titanium, then I went to burnt sienna light, then piemontite, then shadow violet, etc., etc.
Show us closer to the camera, please. Yes. So the hair would be what color?
I think in this case is Van Dyke brown, which I don't have on my palette, but I can also do it like with bloodstone, for example.
Yes.
And like this is how I do my tests, let's say. So I chose the 3 colors that I really use. It's the Shadow Violet, Burnt Sienna Light, and Piemontite. And I went with all of them combinations, wet on wet, like Shadow Violet with Burnt Sienna Light with Piemontite. And then
Yes.
Burnt Sienna Light, Piemontite, and Shadow Violet, Piemontite, Shadow Violet, Burnt Sienna Light, Burnt Sienna Light, Shadow Violet, Piemontite, Shadow Violet, Piemontite, Burnt Sienna Light, Piemontite, Burnt Sienna Light, and Shadow Violet. And
Johnny,
Yeah.
was it the granulation also that you like granulation? One of the
Yeah.
reasons why you chose these particular colors?
Yeah. For example, the Piemontite, it has a lot of iron, and I really love the dark spots
Ah,
that it leaves. Or the bloodstone, let's say, but I wanted something smoother, not so much
For the skin, of course.
Yeah.
For the skin.
And
so your
from
skin colors are, can you remind us, please, the
Yeah.
skin tones?
burnt sienna light, piemontite, and shadow violet.
Shadow
And-
violet for the darker areas.
Yeah. And I like to use them first, the burnt sienna light, then the piemontite, and then the shadow violet. From lighter to darker.
Okay.
Johnny, that's beautiful how you do those thin contour lines for the shoulders. I love that.
For example, like I have another one here. And again, it's the burnt sienna light, the piemontite, and shadow violet on the darks. And then the contour, I think it's with Van Dyke brown.
Johnny, did you start with a base of titanium buff on that picture?
No. These are only with burnt sienna light, piemontite, and shadow violet.
Thank
And
you.
So these were done with the mixes that you showed us before.
Yeah.
That you've just shown us.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Really like it.
wet on wet, except when I need to do the details, let's say, or the contour.
Wow.
Johnny, these are beautiful studies. Did you spend a lot of time on these, or were these quick studies? They're just gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think these are like 2 hours each, but I have some bigger ones too that they're like 4 or 5 hours.
Wow. They're fabulous.
And then I have some examples too for, let's say, for the clothes that I was telling you guys about, like the cerulean blue jeans.
Yes.
Just the cerulean blue, some lunar blue, some imperial purple, lunar black.
That's incredible how you managed to get that texture and the feel of the jeans.
And it's like, it's nothing. But from far away, they look okay.
Yeah, they look fantastic.
Some skin tones again. And this one, I think I started with buff titanium.
Johnny, do you models?
These are from photos or myself. Like,
Yes.
Do you have
like this one.
this one is you?
Yep.
Wow.
Do you look at
You
yourself?
look good. You look good.
Intan from blue. And let me see.
Very intense.
Does she have 2 different colors of eyes?
Like this is the bigger one, but it's gonna be
Beautiful.
So yeah.
Ask again, Anne-Marie, please.
I'm curious, on the portrait of the lady with the dark background, were her eyes 2 colors?
Yep. You have one blue, one brown.
Beautiful.
I don't know why, but I just made that decision. Thank you. So yeah, from sketch to study, from sketch to the bigger painting. Same principles, but I made some other choices too. Like the arm here has more shadow violet, so it granulates more.
It's really nice to see the 2 of those together.
Kimberly is commenting, She's making a very nice comment. Amazing. My joy's on the floor.
Thank you very much. Back. So bugs are really difficult because there are not many things to do if the model doesn't have a lot of muscles. You can only see the solder blades. So yeah, you have to be creative and know anatomy as well. Yeah.
Okay, so you make them more apparent. You make them stand
Exactly.
out more.
Yeah.
Johnny, when you do a sketch like this, when you do a sketch like this, how do you begin your study? What do you focus on first?
I'm not sure. I'm just going with it. Like, okay, I'm starting with this one, and I'm gonna paint if I like it, if I like the pose and the way that the choices I made was good, I will go to a bigger piece. And sometimes they don't work on a bigger one, but I was lucky to make it bigger. Because in watercolor it's really tough to make the same painting again. Like, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, and especially when you work on wet. So these are all wet on wet.
Johnny, do you sketch with a pencil first or straight with your brush?
Yeah, it's a pencil.
Oh, pencil. Okay. Johnny, we'd love to see your paintings again, and to thank you for sharing your tips on how to make skin colors and shadows. And I think we would love to see your colors on the C-Lab, and that Leticia is ready to share with us share the screen for all your colors, because you have also some colors that are in common with George. I think that it's excellent if we can do the C-Lab and check the colors in that wonderful tool that is in the Daniel Smith website. Could you share that with us, Letty, please? Thank you.
Letty,
we can go.
Maybe you want to show to our audience, especially those who are first time to join us today, where to locate, how to locate the C-Lab.
So in the main, you go to community, weekly live demos, job research, or directly here in the color map.
So there is a link on the homepage.
Yes, community.
Okay.
Weekly live demos, job research, C-Lab. Okay.
And so
and
this is a map of all the colors, and tell us what the C-Lab is, please.
This is the map of all our colors. So from the warm size on the right to the cool size on the left, down left, and then the green on the left up, and the violet on the down right. So you can search all the pictures, all your colors through the lens on your right. In this case, we go to the dot card, and we can select dot card by George Politis, and you can find all his color in
all the colors,
map.
All the colors like that, boom, all in one click.
The most warm, for example, is the quinacridone red, for example. We can choose add to compare. We can choose a new gambode, add to compare. The other one, this is the very warm, so they're very light because they stay on the up. We can go to the.
If they are higher on the scale, they are lighter.
Yes,
and if they're down on the scale, they are darker colors.
The more they go to the zero, it's in the middle. They go to the gray scale. So they go through the dark and the white, the gray,
Yes.
the black and the white. So
Yes.
we can select, for example, Mayan blue too. You can this sorry for my screen. Maybe this is better, lunar blue. Okay. And then we can go to the indentron, and this is the very darkest, and the other one could be neutral tint also. After you add to the comparison, you can go to results, and I don't know how to go now.
On the upper red corner, and then compare, something like compare, right? There is an item on the menu that says compare.
I can do again.
You can do at least 2 or 3 so that we can see how to use this tool. You can add to compare, and then see the comparison.
Then cross, then push the cross, for example, and compare.
Yes, that's it. You have to close the submenu, and then you have. Can you maybe zoom? Is it possible to zoom the screen?
Maybe yes. I try with Command Plus. No. With Control Plus, no.
Control Plus.
Control Plus, neither no.
Yeah, that is
one more than
map.
this. Maybe sorry.
If you pinch your screen, it might get larger. If you pinch it.
No, because it's a computer.
It's from iMac.
It's not a laptop or an iPad.
Computer. So you can see from this, as Giorgio can explain. This, for example, you can go through the pigment, name of pigment, and then you can compare the staining of each colors: low staining, non-staining, medium staining. And then you can go through the granulation, granulating or non-granulating. The transparency, semi-transparent. And then the light partners, all are excellent, for example, this. Then the complement, so for example, lunar blue, the complement of the color is raw amber, violet, and bronzite as a suggestion. Or for indentron blue, the complement could be green apatite genuine and green again. So it's a default. And then the last row is about the value of the syllab. So L like luminance, A and B are the arrow for the more green or more red or more blue or more yellow. So it depends. So A is for horizontal line and B for the vertical line. So like a Cartesian, Cartesian file.
How about now? Could you look for Johnny's? Johnny's list.
I can cross. I can choose the cross section. Sorry, I have some problem with my finger. I go again here because I have a plaster on my finger. So again, search. Then you go again to doc card, and you can select Johnny. Sorry, Johnny. Yes. Okay, here we are, Johnny.
You have to write. You only have to write the Greek god, and that's it.
Panjo or
So we can choose. We can choose, for example, Sleeping Beauty. We can choose, for example, this one. It's in the middle, so lavender. That's just in the B, Baptitanium. So because the A, you see that the A value is 0.16, and also lavender is A 0.29. So it's very, very low, like the A. So it's very close to the 0. So the A is going horizontal, so just in the middle. And so
can you show us 4 or 5 colors by Johnny? Compare them. Yeah.
Yes, maybe burnt amber, maybe shadow violet, and what else?
Yes.
Piemontite,
good.
for example.
These colors are good. Yes, thank you.
Okay, then cross and then compare again. Okay. Can you see?
Yes.
So
Wow.
Sleeping Beauty is a beautiful color. Series 5, Lavender Series 2, Buff Titanium Series 1, Burnt Amber Series 1, Shadow Violet Series 2, and Piemontite Series 4. So all are non-staining, low staining. Okay. So all of these are granulating. So
Yes,
look for
all of them,
granulation, all
right.
of them. Yes.
Yeah.
So only the shadow violet is transparent, while the other are semi-transparent. And all are excellent light fastness. And some complements are listed. For example, lavender has the complementary color is buff titanium. And
oh yeah.
Again, buff titanium, the complementary color is lavender. So
how
for
curious.
Sure. Yeah. And
You
shadow
know,
violet.
here we have a person, Svetlana, who's usually with us in our lives. She says the best tool. I use it all the time. So useful. So we encourage you to use it and to check your favorite colors or the colors of our brand ambassadors or whatever colors you have doubts about.
Yeah.
And so that's a tool to use very, very often. It's excellent. It's an excellent tool.
So
we don't have much time more, Letty. We have only a couple of minutes left.
Yeah.
And
so if you can choose both George and Johnny, you can get this kind of map and this kind of range.
That's lovely. And to see which ones they have in common. Oh, that's a lovely idea.
Yes.
That's a lovely idea. Thank you.
Congratulations to both.
Thank you. Yes, I agree. I totally agree with you. And
thank you,
if George is
Letty.
around, and maybe he can show us for a couple of minutes what he's done, and then we will close this transmission. Is Johnny there? George? Yes.
I didn't have so much time to do something, but you see the idea here and how it should look after some more work. I mean, the idea is to start and work on several layers. I have only done a couple of layers, but here you can see that working positively and negatively, you come to have better contrasts and so on. These are used, these are done using the colors of my dot card mostly. And if I have just a couple of minutes, just see
yes, we do.
The textures, as I said, these are done with colors of the dot card and things like that. So you see how I use granulation, the contrasts, positive and negative painting in order to achieve several of these results. This also is a good example of the lunars that I use, lunar black.
We need to see them nearer, please. Bring them nearer to the camera. We love to see them. And the textures are amazing. This is lunar blue and lunar black.
Black and lunar blue. Solely, no other colors. Lunar black and lunar blue on this paint.
I love these colors.
This is Venetian red. This is quinacridone red. Of course, the other colors that I suggested, like hematite.
Hematite, yes.
Hematite, a lot of.
George, on that one? George, what is the shadow on that?
Excuse me?
What's the shadow on that?
What's the color of the shadow?
Yes.
So actually, it's a lot of steps, definitely. But I can see, I'm not sure if you can see some green here, some blue here, some burnt sienna in some areas. But mostly, as I feel after so much time, it must have been the combination of Mayan dark blue and Piemontite.
Beautiful.
So basically it's layers. What you paint is many layers.
It is layers. So most of the times these dark areas are combinations of Mayan dark blue, and Piemontite. And here you can see one in this logic. Again, one can touch. It is a lot of collage, even Chinese newspaper. I don't read Chinese, but one could probably read what is written here. And a lot of layers on top of that using the colors that I suggested. So anyway, I wanted to show you like
Wow.
that, these paintings.
Thank you.
I want to read to both of you a comment by Chuck. He says, amazing session. I learned a lot and I'm eager to try some of the techniques that are new to me. Thank you, Johnny and George. And Stella says, thank you, dear George and Johnny, so good to see you. Miss you too, and Greece, and big hugs. So George, you don't, yeah, you don't have a painting of Santorini, do you?
Not here, but
Okay. Next time.
But I have to explain. Santorini doesn't depend on these card colors. This is what paintings that are following this
from your dot card. Okay.
But let me say that in a few days, just 2 weeks from now, I'm having a workshop where I'm having these mixed media collage and watercolor and some Santorini as well. So perhaps.
By the way, if somebody would like to join George in Santorini at the last week or third week in August, he's doing a workshop in the very island of Santorini.
Oh, thank you very much for sharing that. Yes, 19th to 26th of August, Santorini, and it's an amazing experience.
Yes,
thank you.
I can confirm because I've been there.
We all wish, and it's the Pura time. We all wish.
Yes.
Fantastic of you, thank you.
Cheers. Bravo to you, and cheers with Cipro, and see us tomorrow. Please be with us tomorrow for a session with Susana from Mexico.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Angela.
Bye,
everybody.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Johnny.
See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Johnny. Bye-bye.
See you.